Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking you with me on my day as a real estate agent, but not just any day as a realtor. This is a day in the life of a real estate agent who's with Real Broker. I'm about to head up to the office and hop on a Zoom call, which I'll share. After that, I'll share a little bit more of what the Zoom call's for and what separates the day in the life of a realtor with Real Broker from the day in the life of a realtor with any other brokerage. But first, we're making our matcha. So that's why we have this bad angle right now. But we are taking 2 dates, half cup of almond milk. Wow. As soon as this is done, I'm gonna go send my Zoom link and start the call. Boiling water, 2 teaspoons matcha powder. I just got off my Zoom call. I'll share with you guys what that was about. This is my little work setup right now, where I'm at in my office. It's quite messy right now, but that's okay. So then I'll talk a little bit more of like a day in the life of a realtor / day in the life of a real broker. And we're just gonna work with all the bad angles today. We're just gonna embrace it. It's okay. Let's just backtrack first of all. Let's go all the way back to the beginning before I get into my Zoom call I just did. The beginning as in the day in the life of a realtor with Real Broker. So my day in the life of a realtor, my day is very not conventional as a real estate agent, but I like to share this online because I really do believe there are so many ways that you can successfully run your real estate business. It does not have to look, especially in 2026, soon to be 2026, you do not have to follow the old school show up at the office, make cold calls, do this, like get home at 6. Like you do not have to follow that model, especially thanks to YouTube and the internet. You do not have to follow that model to have a successful real estate business. You do need consistency, structure, routines, and systems, lots of systems in your business, which should go without saying, but you don't need to follow that old school model. I would say my day is very different than the average real estate agent. I have a couple hours today that I have time blocked to get my real estate work done this week. And I bust out as much work as I can during this time blocked time. This is not what my day looks like most of the week. Most of the week, I am doing stay-at-home mom type things. I'm with my daughter, we're with our friends. We just went to the zoo yesterday, and tonight we're having a little get together dinner fun thing with all my friends and her friends. So like I am not having a normal like working realtor life, I guess you could say. What I'm filming and vlogging and showing is the few times in the week that I do get away for a little bit to get some work done. The majority of my week does not look like that, but I still do some work stuff throughout my day. It's just very minimal. This aspect of my business that I've been focusing more on allows me to be at home and have my days look the way that I want them to at home with my daughter, not having to be rushing out of the house, leaving to a showing, going over here, getting back to a client. Like it allows me to work so much more in my own time and remotely because I can be doing this from anywhere. So that's really the biggest thing, because when you're just selling houses and that's your only source of income in real estate, you are tied to a location. It is not remote, but what I'm doing right now is remote or can be remote. And it is not necessarily as in your own time. What I'm doing right now is extremely in my own time, meaning if I decide I'm gonna work on this aspect of my business for an hour a day, that's what I'm gonna dedicate to it at this point in my life. I can choose that hour to be after my daughter goes to bed, before she's awake in the morning, an hour or so after lunchtime in the afternoon while we're having some like chill quiet time. Like I can choose whenever I want it to happen versus actually selling houses is not necessarily so easy to work in your time constraints. So the aspect of my business that I have been focusing more and more so is helping agents, collaborating with agents, getting to know agents, having a relationship with agents, doing Zoom calls with agents, mentoring agents, being here to answer agents' questions and all of that through a option that our brokerage has called revenue share. Basically, I'm not gonna go in depth on what revenue share is and what that means. However, it is a real source of passive income. I have a couple streams of passive income that I've been really hunkering down on, like focusing, because I just feel this sense of timing that this is what I need to be focusing on right now versus actually selling the houses. And so I've been really going all in on those things when I am at that like focused work time block time in my day. And revenue share is definitely the most significant. It is a legit source of passive income. It's not necessarily so passive, especially at first. Obviously, you still got to do things it doesn't just come to you. However, it is more passive in the sense that you can do it from wherever you're at and whenever you want. And I won't go into breaking down the revenue share model at Real Broker because I did a video not too long ago. You can find it on my channel in my playlist called Real Brokerage Explained. And in that video, I broke down the revenue share model, what revenue share even is, and all of that. But this is an aspect of my business that I really do feel called to, and I enjoy so much. As you know, if you have watched my channel for a while, a big portion of my husband and I's business for our real estate business, I've been in the real estate business for my entire adult life, 10 years now, since I was 18. I get a lot of my business now from a YouTube channel about living in, relocating to / buying real estate in my area. Those are like the buckets of content that we do on this channel that brings us business. I had a new buyer lead that came from this YouTube channel that wants to buy now in our area, relocating from out of state. I was going to have a Zoom call today with him at noon, right before my Zoom call that I had with this agent about Real Broker, that I just got off of, which I'll talk about in a second. But I really have just been feeling as though my time to work, because of obviously we can all schedule our days however we want, but because of the way I want my life to look right now, my time to work is very limited. And so when I do that work time, I could be trying to continue to sell houses, work with buyer clients, or I could just 100% pass them on to my husband and go all in on this stream of income plus a couple other passive income streams that I can do from anywhere / do anytime, work on anytime, if that makes sense. The location and time constraints aren't there. I can go all in on those things while my husband's working with those leads that I still bring in through my YouTube channel. That to me is not that time consuming, like at all, for the leads, the YouTube channel the leads come from, if that makes sense. So I told my husband that, and he agreed and was like 100%, I will take this buyer and hop on a call with him today, and you can have your time freed up to work on the other streams of income that you feel called to build right now for our business, because this is an aspect of our business. This is an aspect of my real estate business that I've had my entire adult life, but I just feel as though your energy is going to be so much better spent going all in and zeroing in and trying to be an expert at one thing instead of doing and building multiple things. You know what I mean? So with all of that being said, revenue share is not something that you have to participate in by any means if you are considering joining Real Broker. Most of the agents actually have 0 agents in their network, and they have no intention or desire to grow their revenue share network at Real Broker. It is not something that is pushed. However, if you would like to participate in it, it is, I believe, a really, really amazing aspect of your business that you can tap into. I just had a Zoom call with an agent who is wanting to join us at Real Broker. And I'm going to answer some of the questions that she had for me, for you guys, because I know these are probably things you're curious to if you're thinking about getting into the real estate industry or switching brokerages in general. When I was on this Zoom call with her, this happens every time I'm on these Zoom calls. I swear I just feel so much love for the agents on the other side of the Zoom camera. And I genuinely get so much joy hearing about, their businesses or what they did prior to real estate, maybe if they're newly licensed, and their family and their life and what they want to do in their business, and just getting to help guide them into our brokerage and help and be a resource in any way possible is something I really love doing, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do. By the way, if you are considering joining Real Broker, I would love to have a Zoom call with you. I do Zoom calls often. We can do phone calls too, but I love Zoom. But I do Zoom and phone calls often with agents all over the US and Canada who are considering joining Real Broker and want us to be their sponsor, which I'm more than happy to hop on a Zoom call and Like, no pressure, just answer some questions, see if it might be a good fit for you or not. You can shoot me an email with the email in the description below. You can inquire through my website. You can even book directly through my calendar link on my website. However you want to reach out to me, feel free to reach out and we can get that set up. But I was on this Zoom call and I just feel so grateful for the opportunity to do this, because I have always had a passion for, I love people, like, in general, but I've always loved realtors, especially. They've always been my favorite kind of people. And I've always had agents, even when I was a brand new agent, reaching out to me and saying, like, hey, Maria, how are you getting business? Hey, why is this working for you? It's not working for me. What are you doing differently? Like, I've always had people reaching out to me, either in my market locally or all over the country, because I have always put myself out there online as a realtor and just shared what's working for me very, like, candidly and authentically and all of that. So I've always had these conversations with agents about their business and what's worked for me and all of that. And I've always been an open book about it. And it's something I would do for free. I have done for free for almost my whole real estate career. But the fact that Real Broker has a program set up to where you are able to sponsor agents into the company, meaning, no, you're not their coach, no, you're not offering them free courses, free this, free that, but yes, you do have a vested interest in their success at the company. Yes, you are a resource they can reach out to if they ever want to brainstorm, ask questions, get ideas, whatever. Like, you are there if they ever want to reach out. It's more that kind of thing. And to be able to get paid in any capacity to do that, to me, is a blessing. And like I said, it's something I feel so passionate about, so called to, and so grateful to get to do it. And I would love to get to talk to you too and hear about your business as well. So back to this Zoom call though that I just had. I'm just going to cover a few of the questions that this sweet, sweet agent on the other end of the Zoom call had today. And maybe you're having these same questions as well. Okay, she's a brand new agent, just got licensed. She just asked me, can you explain the difference between being on a team versus being a solo agent versus the mentorship program at Real Broker? I don't know which route is best for me. And that's a really good question and a really important thing to consider as a brand new agent. Let's just break down in, like, simple terms if you're new and curious about this too, and then we'll get into some of the more questions that are not as just for, like, new agents, I guess you could say. Being a solo agent, I started as a solo agent and really hit the ground running. I think if you're going to be a solo agent, you've got to be, like, ready to cold call, ready to hit up the open houses or whatever the, like, right now business is. You've got to be, like, aggressive with your business getting if you're going to start out as a solo agent. A couple years after getting licensed, my husband quit his job and he joined me, and that's how we became a husband and wife real estate team. But our team is, like, just us two. We don't have, like, a big team or anything like that, or really want to go that route. But there's a lot of different ways you could take it. But being a solo agent, nobody is giving you business. It is 100% up to you to get business. And you really have to be somebody who's okay with obviously being a self-starter no matter where you're starting in real estate, but okay with, like, not knowing the answer to something, but being forced to do it anyway and just, like, figuring it out. Like, that's kind of the definition of being a solo agent. And I think that something that's important to understand and realize up front if you're gonna be a solo agent is when you're new in real estate, and I think honestly this is true for just business in general, guys, like, you have to be okay with putting in the work before you see the results. And as a new agent, you need to have enough money saved. I don't know what your situation is, but you have to be either have enough money saved or be in a situation where you can afford to do this, where you can work for a handful of months before you start seeing the results. And once the results come, it's so worth it. It can be so worth it. And I would never trade, like, being in the real estate industry for another career in the whole entire world for my husband and I. However, you got to understand you're going to be putting in work before you see results, and you have to have that expectation, I guess you could say, versus being on a team. But as a solo agent, you are keeping your commission. You're not giving, like, yes, you have your split. At Real, we do have some of the most desirable split fee setups in the entire real estate industry, but you're not giving you're not giving your brokerage just part of your split and then the team leader a part of your split on top of that, if that makes sense. So you keep more of your commission that you do make. But when you're on a team, this could look so many different ways. Some team leaders, I feel like they don't really do much, and it doesn't really look much different than being a solo agent. You're just giving them more of your commission. Some team leaders are going to give you a schedule even and be like, everyone on our team's gonna cold call this much or do open houses or whatever. They could offer you they probably won't give you a schedule, but they might. Some team leaders are going to offer training just for the people on their team. In-person, consistent meetings, meetups, training for the whole team, that kind of vibe. Some team leaders will give you leads, albeit they're usually really crummy leads. They're not like the most solid, amazing, wonderful leads, but they're a great place to start, a great way to get your foot in your door in real estate and like start working with clients right away. So there's definitely pros and cons to both, being on a team versus not being on a team. You got to know what's best for you and do what's best for you. There is a third option. Oh, and I do need to add, because I get asked this a lot, can you still be my sponsor, Mariah, if I join a team at Real Broker? The answer is yes. Many of the agents that we sponsor that are new agents actually are on teams, and their team leader is not their sponsor. We are their sponsor. And I think that actually makes a lot of sense, because say you sign up and your team leader is also your sponsor. Well, what about when you decide that you want to leave that team in a few years from now? You're like, I'm ready to go out on my own. I don't want to be on that team anymore. I'm ready to be a solo agent. Well, it could get kind of awkward depending on how you leave the team and your relationship with the team leader. Like, it could be a little awkward reaching out to them as your sponsor, asking for advice or something if you're going to do that. Like, I just feel like it's actually probably in your best interest to separate those two things. That's my personal opinion though. However, yes, I can still be your sponsor even if you are on a team, whether you're on a team in my state or in another state or anywhere. I can still be your team leader. I can actually help set you up with a team. I have agents ask me often that want me to be their sponsor to send them a team leader or two in their specific market that they can interview and ask questions and just see what one might be a good fit for them, if any. So if that's something that you want, happy to do it. We can talk about it on a Zoom call or phone call or email or whatever. So at Real Broker, we have a third option called the mentorship program. Now, this is another thing. If you want information on it, I won't go into all the details, but I can send you a link that's going to take you to all the information needed about the mentorship program at Real Broker, and you can see, even click on like your specific state and see all the information needed about the mentorship program in your state specifically with Real. And you can even see who the available mentors are at Real Broker in your state and kind of choose which one, if you want to go that route, that you would like to go with. Your mentor and your sponsor can be two different people. So your mentor does not have to be your sponsor. You can have one person as your sponsor and another person as your mentor, if that makes sense. And we actually have co-sponsorship, which I've done videos talking about. You can find them on my channel after this video, but we do have co-sponsorship at Real, so you actually can have two sponsors, which is another thing. We have a ton of agents that we co-sponsor with and are always happy to do. So if you are like, Mariah, I want you to be my sponsor, but I also want another sponsor, because why not? Can you please point me to an agent in my state maybe who can be my other sponsor? Then I'm more than happy to do that as well. Whatever the situation is, I'm happy to be the resource for you. But back to the mentorship program. So they created the mentorship program at Real because we obviously don't have an in-person office building. However, the mentorship program allows you to meet with somebody in person, one-on-one. Your sponsor is not supposed to be your mentor. Technically, there's so many rules in the independent contractor agreement as to what we can do and not do, what we can promise and not promise as a sponsor. We cannot promise to mentor you, but I can have a vested interest in your success at the company. And how that works for me, being a sponsee to sponsors, I guess you could say, at the company, is I get emails often from agents that are in our network, and I'm always happy to respond. I always respond within 24 business hours to the best of my ability. I don't know everything, but if I don't know it, I'm gonna do whatever is in my power to figure it out. I am happy to set up calls to brainstorm ideas with you. No, I can't promise coaching. Agents that are in my network also will text me. They'll they'll text me, I might voice text them back with a response, just whatever comes up that you're like, hey, like Mariah, you've done a lot of video marketing, for example, to get business. What are some ideas, or how can I start that in my market? Or what do you think about this? Like, I'm always happy to help. And yes, you still have your principal broker for like contracts, state specific questions, but I'm happy to be another resource however I can. Okay, I'm rambling a lot, so stay with me, guys. But the mentorship program. So the mentorship program at Real Broker basically says you can be a solo agent. You don't have to go as far as joining a team and say, I'm going to give up, a bigger chunk of my commission as long as I'm on this team to the team leader. You don't have to do that, but you don't also have to completely be on your own without someone in person holding your hand when you start out. Yes, there's amazing, phenomenal, in-depth new agent training that covers everything you need to know as a new agent, and I would highly recommend everybody goes through the new agent training at Real Broker. But sometimes you want someone in person. So the mentorship program is you can choose a mentor in your state, and you guys agree on the amount that they're going to get paid. It's basically like a referral fee. So let's just say this mentor of yours is going to get paid 30% of your transactions. You guys agree, I believe, how many of the transactions that is. I think this is a really good idea because they can help you with whatever you and the mentor decide they're going to help you with. So if that's coming up with a business plan, getting leads, getting your first few clients, to actually writing up the contracts and maybe even holding an open house, or like whatever the things, they will help you with those things and hold your hand through your first few transactions and get a, say, 30% whatever referral fee for those transactions that they helped you with. But once you don't need their help anymore, you're feeling confident, say you do, 3 transactions, let's just say, and you feel like, I'm getting the hang of this, I can do it on my own now, you don't pay them anymore. They're not helping you anymore, but you also don't need to keep paying them. Versus if you're on a team, you're stuck on that team, and you're probably not gonna just come off the team after 3 transactions. Like, that's not how things work. So I hope I explained that in a way that makes sense, but I really do think the mentorship program is a really great option. My next question is, how long have you been with Real? I've been with Real for 2.5 years now, somewhere around 2.5 years, which is super, super crazy, but I have never looked back, and I do not miss one bit being at a brick and mortar office. There's honestly nothing about another brokerage that would make me want to switch. I'm so happy with Real, and I feel like when I have these calls with people, like, everyone wants to know my honest opinion, and like, it's maybe not for everyone, but my honest opinion is super biased because I've had such a great experience here, and I just truly don't have anything negative to say. So maybe I'm not the best person to talk to if you want like the negative things, but there's really not negative aspects about Real that I have personally experienced. The last thing I wanted to touch on was my new agent checklist. I've been getting asked a lot by my YouTube subscribers in the comment section on my videos for the new agent checklist. Now, guys, I love chatting with you in the comment section. Please leave me a comment. If you're an agent, let me know, what market are you watching from? What market are you watching from? What's the market like right now where you're at? How long have you been licensed? Are you in the process of getting licensed? What brokerage are you with? Let's talk about it in the comments. I love having conversations with you guys. I love seeing you guys have conversations amongst each other in this little community in the comment section. So yes, comment below, but I've been having agents comment on my videos asking me to send them my new agent checklist that I have, which is basically a checklist of everything I would do if I was just new licensed right now today from start to finish, like the grand schmeal, the full checklist. I can't send it to you in the comment section because I don't have your email. So you guys, yes, comment, but don't comment for that. Email me if you want the new agent checklist. Just email me with the words new agent checklist. That's all you gotta do, and I'll send it right over to you. My email is in the description. Also, I do have a newsletter I send out once a month, just once a month, sharing what's working for my husband and I in our business. A lot of it's going to be like video marketing focused because we are pretty video heavy, and a big part of my role right now in our business in attracting leads is the video marketing side of things, which I love, but it works. What we're doing works. We're attracting leads consistently through video marketing. with our iPhone and a $30 Best Buy mic. If you would like to be on my email list, send me an email with the words email list and you will be added to that as well. My last question is really just going to answer where it all started, take it back full circle, where this video began. What separates the day in the life of a realtor with Real Broker from a day in the life of a realtor not with Real Broker? Okay, there's a handful of things. One thing is you will not be driving to an office. This is my office right here that we're in right now. However, my husband and I spent the first couple of years that we were with Real, it was actually only a few months ago that we finally put this office room together. It's a little messy right now. We've got like a little podcast area over there. We've got a standing desk here. We didn't have an office room. We worked from our kitchen table, our dining table, our back patio in our backyard, our car, up until this point. And to be completely honest, it doesn't really make sense to have an office as a realtor, because what I would always say when I was in my earlier years in my career, when I was driving from house to house, listing to listing, and listing heavy, very listing heavy, I guess, in my business, I would always say, if I'm at the office, I'm probably not dollar producing. Like, I'm not doing things dollar producing. I am doing the most dollar producing activities when I'm in my car. I did most of my work when I was newer because my day would be so like, okay, I would schedule an appointment here and then go to another house and then another house. Like, I would try to just book up as many for sell by owner appointments and like fill every day with those. And then I would do my busy work that you might do at an office in my car in the time blocks or chunks of time in between appointment to appointment, if that makes sense. Like, if I couldn't book them all back to back, I would do it in between things in my car because it made no logical sense to drive from wherever I was going, the opposite direction probably, all the way to the office just to sit and get something done. Like, what is the point? So the most of my busy work was done in my car. My cold calls even were done in my car during that in-between time. The next way that a day in the life of a realtor at Real Broker might look different than a day in the life at another brokerage is you might be doing more Zoom calls. You might also be doing more video marketing than other types of ways of getting business. One of the things that drew me to Real Broker initially was the fact that they had the best video marketing training and just like social media for your business training in the entire real estate industry, the highest tech in the entire real estate industry as well, but also like the most simple to use tech, which is amazing. But the video marketing training is really gonna be what you're probably going to be watching and then copying after you join Real Broker. They do have training on so many other ways to get business, but that is a huge theme amongst the mastermind training at Real Broker is video marketing. So your day as an agent at Real might be filming content versus your day somewhere else. You might be, I don't know, door knocking. I know I just had a conversation last week with an agent who wants to join us at Real Broker as well. And she was just talking about how, you know, she joined Keller Williams. She's only a few months into the real estate industry, but she joined Keller Williams at first. And one of the reasons she wants to move is because all their training is so old school. It's so old school. So if you don't want to do the old school ways of training, Real Broker might be a good fit for you, but that's one way that your day in the life of a realtor might be different at Real, is you might be making more videos and getting leads that way than other types of getting business, I guess you could say, the old school methods. Another way that your day might look different at Real is you might be doing more Zoom calls. Oftentimes, I've found when you get business through video marketing, content marketing, YouTube marketing, like my husband and I do in many instances, you are not meeting with your clients in person as much because they are more out of state, if that makes sense. Maybe they're moving to your area, they found you online. You're gonna see a lot more of that. And that means you're gonna be doing more Zoom calls, which for me is so perfect because I would way rather be doing like I did today, like my whole morning as a mom, whatever I'm doing, and then take a break, come upstairs to my office, shut the door, do a Zoom call, and then go back to and finish my day, whatever else I was doing, and be off work, then drive to the office to meet someone or drive to a house or whatever. The last way that I'll share that your day as a realtor with Real Broker might look different is you are going to have access to the best CRM system out there. It is usually $500 a month. With Real, I believe you get it for 30, maybe it's 40. I want to say 30, but maybe it's 40. If you know, drop it in the comments for all of us. But 30 or 40, one of those two a month instead of $500. If you're with Real, you get that discount. You do not have to use it, but I don't know why you wouldn't. The AI that you have access to, I just saw that my AI assistant from my CRM system, it's called Lofty, and I have done videos on it. So after this video, don't go anywhere yet, you can head over to my channel and find one of my videos about Lofty. However, it's formerly called Chime. However, as I was filming this video, I just saw a notification on my phone saying that showing me an email that my AI had just sent out to like mass amounts of people, and it was really, really phenomenal email. They did a great job. But the way that you have access to have automated follow-up, lead generation, lead capturing when they come to your website, like pre-qualifying leads that come to your website with AI, all of those things, but it's simplified. So the technology in general at Real, it's the most high tech. They are known for their technology, but while it's the most high tech, it is the most simplified, which I like because I'm a simple gal. I don't want to be sitting here trying to figure these things out forever. Now, I will say, Lofty is a bit of a learning curve, as with any CRM system, I would assume. So just have that expectation going into it. You're probably going to be sitting around watching those really boring but necessary tutorials on YouTube. There's a lot of them about Lofty, formerly Chime, our CRM system. You're going to be watching those tutorials quite a bit at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's great. And the rest of the technology at Real Broker, besides Lofty, is very, very, very simple and easy and user-friendly and straightforward, although it is very high-tech. We are able to run our entire real estate business from a cell phone. We can see everything on an app. I'm showing you guys my hand like I'm actually showing it to you on like it's my phone, but it's not clearly. But everything is right there on this app. Like all your transactions, all the information for all your transactions, where they're at, notes about your transactions, anything you could ever want to know about your real estate business, it is right there, boom, on this app. And that's just another way your day in life is going to look different as a realtor with Real Broker versus a realtor with another brokerage. Because if you're with another brokerage, you're going to be making all these calls, trying to figure out what's going on in your transactions, figuring out this, that, knowing your numbers and stats. Like, it's not going to be all right in front of you. It is not. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you for hanging out with me today on this little day in the life. I know it wasn't very long, a long day in the life, but that's because my day is short. My work day is very, very short. So that's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that you grabbed value from today's video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell because I come on here every week, and I'll see you soon.